Hello, how are they? It's your one and only Anointed Theophilus. Please, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go and do that. Anointed Theo, just subscribe. It doesn't take anything to subscribe. Today, I want to talk about tradition, marriage, and tradition. How do you manage tradition? A couple of days back, one guy was saying that we should go back to our previous forefathers' life tradition, that is, it was better before the white people came and deceived us with Bible. They brought Bible for us and bastardized our tradition. They destroyed our tradition. In the days of our tradition, it was better. Like tradition is better. We should go back to tradition. In this age and time, as far as this civilization has given us the best, somebody still prefer the days of our forefathers, the traditional living of our forefathers. And if you look at people nowadays that always say tradition, I want tradition, I want tradition, I want tradition, I'm a traditional man. If you look, one of the reasons they are saying it is almost aligning with the same reason their forefathers was place those traditional rules then. Selfish reason. Yeah, I've never heard somebody say, I'm a traditional man. I'm a traditional man. I want to farm 10 acres of land because I'm a traditional man. I want to invest in agriculture because I'm a traditional man. I want to give out scholarship for children to be able to go to school. I'm a traditional man. I want to go and tie road in my village. Let me go and tie the reason why they are trying to claim traditional man is always about selfish interest, evil. Anybody that say I'm a traditional man, watch the person. If he's a man, he wants to marry more than one wife. He prefers that he wants to sleep and marry more than one. He wants to have 3, 4, 5 wives. The reason they are always saying I'm a traditional man, I'm telling you the truth. It's not always. Look at the traditional practices those days. They were all evil and they were all self-centered. It was all about people in authority, just like the way politicians are messing us up today. It's always about self-interest. And the tradition were not favoring the female child. You know, the woman is always the bad person. The woman is always the evil in our forefathers' days. History had it. You know. So it pains me that somebody will still prefer the days of our forefather, that traditional era, to now. Say they deceive us with Bible. It pains me a lot. A lot of people speak out of ignorance. The best thing that ever happened to Africa is that the gospel came. The missionary brought the gospel to us. One of the best things that has happened to us is that the white people have been able to give us civilization and they gave us the gospel. I know very well most of the white people today, they don't believe in God because after some years, their own faith ran down. They don't even believe. They try to find excuse. Look at some of the abomination happening in the Western world today. A father can be sleeping with his daughter. Man and man wants to stay at home married. Women and women want to stay at home married. A brother can be having sex with a sister in this Europe. You see a young child of 11 years, 12 years is already on the street smoking. Why? Because they refuse to recognize God. It has reduced, but their immorality is high. Their immorality is high. It is in this Western world, in China, you can see somebody sleeping with animals. It's not high like that in Africa. But even Africa now, they are trying to civilize, and before you know that, they will drift to this same kind of life if care is not taken, because they want to celebrate. We always want to celebrate nonsense. How can somebody say he prefer the days of our tradition? The Bible is fake. The Bible is not real. They gave us Bible and destroy our tradition. It was even better. They destroyed those evil traditions. It was cool. I am one of those who is happy that some of those evil traditions went into extinction. Some of the freedom we enjoy today, you will not enjoy it in the days of our forefathers. Lie. Some women are very free today. You want to try, they'll cut your head. They'll banish you from the land. So, I don't know why somebody would prefer the traditional days. Is it because of the sacrifices they were giving to idols, juju? You know, when you celebrate idol, then festival of an idol, a god, the highest benefit you get then is a food they will share, everybody will chop. the sacrifices they were making, after some days, those sacrifices starts to smell in the environment. And those were, it poses health hazard to us. Then we didn't know. So if you sacrifice goat, you go and put it in Road Joshua, because I grew up to see some of these sacrifices in Road Joshua. I don't know if they still do it in Nigeria now. I'm very sure they still do some interior parts that have not developed. If you see sacrifices in Joshua with all the yam and the raw animal they placed on the pot with oil, all those egg rubbish, after some days it starts to smell. When you pass through that environment, you will inhale a smell. It becomes health hazard to us. So the highest you benefit that time from an idol is one day food. Everybody shop, they mark their body. The following day, everywhere they smell with the blood where they sprinkle for juju face. Somebody want us to go back to that era. As I big now, as you big rich now for Europe, or you did Nigeria now, you still go sacrifice blood, pour for one a carving where they do. As they make you run, they like say they horror. Even when I was young, it has never thrilled me. I was not even afraid. When I see some people wear all those traditional attire, they irritate me then. Irritate me, say me. It has never been like some people come to fear, say somebody wear red cloth. So tradition was used to oppress people in the society. They use it to mess up people. Some of the things, some of the places that was written in the Bible are still very much today, still there. You can go and do tourist, carry visa, go, those places still there. I'm in Italy. Rome is still very much, it's the capital city of Italy. Rome, Apostle Paul preached in Rome. Jesus was dealt with in Rome. Rome still there. Say Bible not fake. The places like Israel still there. Egypt, where Moses left, is still there. The Red Sea is still there. The tomb, almost every other record, they are still alive here now. One person will still tell you, oh, they give us Bible, they destroy our tradition. We should go back to tradition. Even if, let's assume that according to you, the Bible is not real. The Bible says only a fool said there is no God. Some people believe that there is no God. I believe the Bible. I gave my life to Jesus, and the miracles I have seen him do before me. Let's just leave the ones written in the Bible now. If the one where you say we will give us, then I fake. What about the one where I see with my eyes? A couple of years ago, we were in choir all night. They rushed a crippled girl to the all night. I was the choir master then. Some of my choirs will be my friend online. They'll be my friend for Facebook now. They were young then. I can call them my daughters in the Lord. Some of them don't marry now. Their children don't be. They quit marry past myself. We fasted and we all night. They rushed a girl to the all night because they heard our voice that night praying, and they rushed the crippled girl down. And the girl was attacked. She was traveling through land to Libya. Then I never even talk about say I want to go Europe. She was traveling through land, and they rushed the girl in. That they heard us praying the night. They brought the girl, that they brought her back with plane from Libya because of the cripple attack that she had. She's not crippled because somebody vowed that she will not get to her destination, and so they brought her back crippled. So they just decided to come and receive prayer that night. They brought the girl in. I this was a couple of years ago. I was still very young, a young guy. I didn't know anything about the miraculous, but I know the power of God was moving then in Christ in Church of God, the Daken branch. The choirs, I will say, we see situation now. There is somebody say, in the hear our voice, so please, we should pray. She's crippled. And we ran to the pastor's lodge. We went to call the man of God, say, see you, Christ isn't pastors, then they are firebrand, We went to call, the pastor's name is Pastor Yemese, I guess, on Yemese. And he came that night, and we entered into worship. We started to pray. We speak in tongues. The power of God moves, But to cut the whole long story short, that girl that came to that choir all night, crippled, in the morning she stood up, staggered, and walked, and her leg became firm. It was a spiritual attack. So for about more than 6 months, she has not walked. That morning, she walked back home. I've seen a dead child came back to life. A dead man came back to life. This one are the one where I see with my eyes. And I'm very sure some of you can testify. how cancers have disappeared, HIV cured through by prayer. So even if you don't believe in the Bible, but what God has done, because we believe in that power in the name of Jesus, it's enough, it's an evidence for us to hold tight to the gospel. Don't tell me to go back to tradition. A tradition then that was killing twins in Africa. Woman will carry pikin finish for 9 months. After all those pain, medical attention then was even poor. So it was traditional means of giving birth, and it was risky. But having given birth to twins, they were saying an abomination. They were killing those children. They were murdering those children. Somebody said we should go back to that age. I think it was even somebody from Europe, Western world, that came to stop that killing. Probably educated them. Said, nah, these twins are gift though. The tradition say we go to kill an abomination. No. They were killing twins. Your forefathers were murdering twins. I think it was Mary Celestial. I don't know. I can't remember now history. Bishop Ajayi Crowd, I don't know. These were some of the people that had to stop that tradition. They were murdering twins. Imagine say you be twins. Saying at that time we still didn't. Therefore kill. As your mama born and they'll say the child is an abomination. Let's go and throw the child in the evil forest. If you're born albino that time, they'll kill you. You want us to go back to tradition? No, we're not going back there. All these children will remain for Nigeria now. This idol way they see they serve now. This igbe bru and say they do for Nigeria. Time they come. Now trace station they will put for those children. They will cover. We are going to grade all those children away. Put trace station, put car park, or put garden where children will play. Time they come. I'm very, very confident in saying this. Extra airports will come to those. Idol will go into extinction. You don't see that one in Europe now. You don't work out for Europe when you see somebody they do smell with their smelly blood that they sprinkle later. The environment will be smelly that will cause sickness. Tradition. It was self-centered that a man can marry more than one wife. I'm a traditional man. It was always on the favor of the men. Even when education came, they didn't want the girl child to go to school. They didn't want the girl child to be educated. Say, no, how I go school now? Even my mom used to give examples. Say, no, they said if you go school, you are still going to end up in the kitchen. So why with the girl child? So they were sponsoring only men. Tradition was always about the favor of men. Why didn't tradition say, oh, a woman can marry more than one husband? Why? Why is it that the man can marry more than, marry 5, marry 6? Tradition. If a man dies, then in most of these clans, if a man dies, it is always the wife who is the killer. It is always the wife who murdered the husband. And some of these killings were perpetrated and orchestrated by uncles, brothers, auntie who were jealous of the woman and they want to take over the property, or probably they want to take over the woman, because in some tradition, when a man dies, the younger brother or the senior brother take over the wife. And so this evil were going on. Tradition will make the woman go through all kinds of humiliation. They will bath a dead body. That water they take bath dead body, they will give the woman to drink. Dead body, you drink. The woman will drink. They will shave her hair just to prove her innocence. Somebody in this era, I'm very sure some evil traditions still they practice these things now. Somebody in this age and time want us to go back to the tradition. Say Bible came to destroy our tradition. The woman, sometimes they'll tell the woman to sleep with that same dead body in the same room for maybe for 7 days. They will shave her hair. They will do all kind of humiliation. Why? But they never tell a man when a woman dies, say you prove your innocence. Evil tradition. A tradition where maybe when they, like summer, they come now. If sun just they shine out for summer, everybody go chill for beach. Then in Africa, if there's too much sun, they say the gods are angry. And it was always the blood of humans that was requested. And with all due respect, the king will never use his own people. The elders will never use their own children. It is the innocent of it just like virus, a coronavirus is killing people now. I feel the pain. It is the innocent people's children that they will go and hunt for and take to sacrifice to the gods. The gods are angry. Evil chief priest then. If there is too much rain, they say, oh, the gods are angry. It means human blood. Somebody wants us to go back to that era. No, we are not going back there, brother. The gospel of Jesus has taken over, is taking over And the time will come, the remaining juju, you go bulldoze all of them, come on, put development. Put development. Not the all those I'm a traditional. The reason most of them say traditional man is just for selfish reason. If you are a traditional man, why don't you put more money in agriculture, produce more food for the country? I'm a traditional man. I want to invest in agriculture. I want to look for more money for my children to be able to go to school. I want to give out scholarships so that children can go to school. I'm a traditional man. Maybe if you go to school, I'm a traditional man. Let me visit one orphanage home. The reason why they always say I'm a traditional man is because they want to do it for their selfish reason. Because he wants to marry more than one wife. So that he can have 3 or 4. So, what they wrong? I want to marry. But will a woman do it to you? Will you allow your own wife now or the girl you are dating now to, if you even owe another man, you know how you will feel. So let's leave. There were some good parts of our tradition then that is in line with the word of God. Those ones we can support, like how to respect elders. In some Yoruba land, you have to lie down to greet an elder. Those were just traditions that help you have respect for elders. You know, other traditions say, a bucket with mate bath, a woman of use and bath. For Europe now, everybody bath for the same bedroom. If you go swimming pool now, everybody bath for the same swimming pool, the same beach. But then you say, you know, if you enter my bathroom, woman no fit enter, I no fit enter. Okay, you no fit enter my bedroom, but the same man, the same wife, now you want day later. But you say you know they enter in bedroom, you know if you use your bucket. There were so many uncalled for tradition then because it was self-centered and devilish. It was devilish tradition. It was so many that I can't mention here now because I don't feel remember all of them. Even when the white men started to do business with Africa, they started to take our resources, back to America and back to Britain. It was even these same clowns, community chiefs and kings that would set up fellow blacks, kidnap them and sell them for just gunpowder. Gunpowder. That evil mind is still with the politicians today. Always about them, me, myself, tradition. Money where belong to the people, they know we use our great road. They will not build hospital. They will not be able to invest it. As at now, we are still lacking technological gadgets in states all over the country in Nigeria. Bro, we're not going back to tradition. If you are a married man, you are a married woman, it's the basic tradition you should be practicing are those that are in line with the word of God, those that favor humanity, not favoring one side for evil intentions and evil activities. No. So if your husband or your wife tell you, I'll be a traditional person, and if you do this thing, ask her and say, what is the end product of this thing? So you must be able, your tradition must be able to build your family in a way that it gives them a brighter light. There should be some equality. Gender equality. Don't tell me, a woman cannot go to school because she's a woman. She will end up in the kitchen. Look at how Nigeria is today. Please, I would like to stop here today because I don't want this video to be too long. And basically, there's no, whether you are a woman or a man, you prefer them. I'm even seeing some scholars, some educated scholars, still trying to say that then was preferable. It can't be preferable. God forbid. There are even some things we did 20 years ago now. We felt it was even a mistake if we had known better. The human being evolve every day. Civilization always get better. So we can't go back to the days of rituals, killing, blood sprinkling. The days our tradition was better. The days of charm. The most superior man is the man that have more charm. The years of a king can just point to your wife, say, I need that woman, and nobody doubt him. Nobody can challenge the king. You won't die. You might be engaged to a girl, and the king or the prince said, this girl, now you need. Nobody will challenge them. It was always about self-centered of the men. Evil tradition. God forbid. Don't take us back to tradition. Tradition that are in line with the word of God is okay. You give birth to a child, after 7 days, naming ceremony. Those are good naming ceremony. Those are traditions. How a child should respect his elders. Those are good traditions. Not the I beg, I don't go.